All right, everybody, I'm back. I've got some stuff cleaned up for this, so let's go ahead and we're going to do the entire clutch side and chain brake assembly real quick. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let me center you up a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're going to start out real quick. All right, this little piece right here, that's that clip that I took off of the crank whenever I tore it down. There's a groove right down there that thing rides in. There it goes. Now, I didn't press on the seal right there. I was just pressing on the retaining clip. We're going to swap these real quick. I prefer this one right here. All right, so this is for the oil pump drive. We're just going to put a little bit of grease on the inside right there and a little bit on the threads. And this will be for the oil pump. There we go. Now, I am going to have to look at getting a sprocket for this. That's the only thing I'm really lacking, but we're going to put the old one back on temporarily. I'm not sending it out with that, though. All right, so this will always say top on the side that goes toward the clutch. Drop that down there. This was actually, the clutch was pretty clean. Everything else was freaking nasty. Never use a piston stop when you're hitting it with an impact on the clutch, unless you just really, really want to destroy your brand new rebuilt saw. I would recommend either a piece of rope or, realistically, just set the chain brake, start the saw, blip the throttle once or twice, and you should be good after that. If you're going to use an impact like I am real quick, just do the spark plug. That way you're just fighting the compression of the engine. There we go. That's all we needed right there. Okay, we'll do this. All right. This piece right here slides in like that. We've got the straight hook right here. That goes to the spring. The upside down C hook right there goes to the chain brake lever. Now, not very much, but we're just going to put a little bit of grease on that post and a little bit of grease on this post. Again, not a huge amount, just enough to provide some lubrication between the two metal surfaces. And hopefully that will alleviate some of what caused the flag to be a little on the loose side. There we go. All right, let's snap that real quick. There we go. All right. Now, put that in there, work it in. There we go. I don't recommend that method to everybody, but just realize that if you do that, I did not tell you to do it. Start out with the screws by hand and let This thing is set at 11. That's a good torque for this. All right, now we're going to, there we go. First, we're going to push that back down. There we are. And oil pump drive is right there. So in the next video, we'll do the throttle linkage, and I'm thinking about it. We'll probably do the carb kit and assemble the carb. Then I think I'm going to do a video on, I think I'm going to do a little modification to the muffler, kind of just because I can. It won't mess it up any, but we'll make it breathe a little bit better. And that sprocket right there is actually pretty rough. I'm just getting it assembled. I still need to get a chain for this because I don't have a 250 that runs 325, so I don't have a 325 sprocket. Anyway, this one is a it's an Oregon, which isn't bad. I'm a little more partial to running the STIHL brand on that. There we are. All right, well, I kind of changed my mind. Let's do this real quick because I have a couple more minutes of evening here. Let's get some more done on this thing. This handle doesn't look bad, but I definitely don't think that the controls are quite as crisp as a OE steel. But then, I mean, what would be? There it goes. All right, we'll set that off to the side, that off to the side, kind of in, I think I'm going to put it toward the file 13. This right here is mainly what I'm concerned with. I'm not going to say anything too derogatory, but I definitely think this can be a little better. There we go. All right, that's it for the most part right there. Let me pull the other stuff real quick. All right. Yeah, this is a lot better. So I'll wipe this off as I do it, but I'm going to say this is definitely an upgrade. I'll probably put the new back handle on, but we're going to swap out for the OE triggers and everything. I might even just run that. Yeah, this doesn't have quite as nice a notches right there. There we go. Got it. All right, so let me get the trigger out real quick, and that should do it for the my controls. go. All right, let's wipe this off real quick and we'll start assembly. Mainly what I was worried about in this section right here, while I'm swapping all the linkages, is the kill switch and choke assembly did not seem to be as good on the new handle as opposed to the old. Now, I'm not going to say it was bad necessarily, it didn't feel right. There we go, started. A little tight, but we'll see here in a second. There we go. Okay. Something was a little bit off there, but I swapped out the pin, the trigger pin, and it worked. I may have had the spring just a shade off, but it seemed loose. But I also tried driving it from this side in, and that worked better. So that might have been why it was binding. I really can't be sure, but we'll see. All right, let's put the factory the operator presence lever. Let's get that in there. Okay, if you have trouble with these, don't sweat it. We're going to start by pulling that up a little bit. Get it back in. And the only reason I'm aware of some of these tricks is because I've worked on enough older saws, like the 032s, 056s, especially the 009, which, by the way, I'm going to have a little stress with coming up. There we go. My 009 is running well, but at the same time, I noticed this last weekend when I was running it that it kind of was acting like it had a small air leak, not a bad one. There we go. That's a little bit nicer, a little bit crisper. All right. So in the next video, I won't be doing a breakdown on swapping the throttle assemblies out or anything. But what I will be doing is kitting the carburetor, and I may start on a mild muffler modification that will be very nice. On some of these saws, it'll be very easy to do. All right, there it started. It took just a minute of walking it on with the tip of the screwdriver. All right. Pull that up a little bit, walk it in, snap it down. Let me snap these wires on, and we are done with this aspect of a MS250 rebuild. And this is going to be getting a little on the long side, so I'm probably going to call it here. And I'm happy. I'm a lot happier with how that turned out. We're going to call it there, guys. Well, I'll see you in a couple of days. Talk to you later. Take it easy. Bye.